With the COVID-19 death toll rising every day, there are stories of children who've lost both parents to the disease. There are posts on social media about orphan children seeking a home. But you can't just go out basis a post on social media and adopt a child. There is a law or procedure at a time like this that kicks in. On the broadcast, we'll speak to experts and we'll try and explain what happens when a child loses both parents to a disease like COVID-19. I want to first introduce Anurag Kundu, Chairperson, Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights, Government of Delhi, joining us. We'll also be joined by a child rights expert and a lawyer on the broadcast to better help us understand what the procedure is. But Anurag, if I can come to you first, as the Chairperson for the Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Rights, you're at the receiving end of phone calls, of distress messages, about children who've been orphaned because of COVID-19, losing both their parents to the disease. Give us a sense of what really is happening on the ground.
I think, Rishika, multiple things are happening. Sometimes there is an immediate crisis that gets generated because of the parents passing away to COVID, because the children may also have come in contact with their parents. Now that immediately requires that they receive medical attention. Yes. In one of the cases, for example, we received an SOS call where both the parents succumbed to COVID and the children needed to be tested, and not just needed to be tested, but needed medical care thereafter. So in another example, we received a very late night phone call from two children again, where the parents had died and they needed their parents to be taken to first crematorium. Now, I cannot imagine the horror or the profound trauma those children are experiencing, who are having to decide the questions of having to take their parents' dead bodies to crematorium. So it not only shatters the children's world immediately, but it raises questions about how are they going to grow up.
Yes.
It raises questions about their social emotional well-being in that moment and thereafter. It raises questions about their educational rehabilitation thereafter and their health. So children eventually land up in situations that they are not capable or equipped to handle.
Right. Anurag, before we go into what rehabilitation and what the law says and what the process really is, I want to ask you about, a rather disturbing trend of people putting out social media messages for adoption. How problematic is this, and what's the legality around it?
Incredibly problematic. See, adopting children is a wonderful idea, and more families should come forward to adopt children who have lost their parents. However, there is a well laid out legal process for adoption that involves a lot of background checks and suitability assessment of the families to raise children. Now, if we bypass those legal processes and start offering children on social media, and that raises huge problems and makes the ground incredibly fertile for trafficking.
Right.
And raises questions about the family's capability to raise these children. They may have made the decision of raising the children in the spur of the moment because they were emotionally charged, but are they equipped or are they committed to raise the children for many, many years thereafter as well, is a question that remains there. And more important than anything, the traffickers are always on the lookout for moments exactly like this.
Right. So you're saying that the problem at hand is, apart from the fact that there are cases of children who've lost both parents to COVID, there is an adoption process that kicks in, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But you're saying that these are also cases, and have you come across cases where young children especially who've been orphaned because they've lost their parents to COVID or to natural disasters, who are susceptible to trafficking? Have you come across cases where you've had to intervene in such situations?
The social media right now, if you simply go on Twitter or Facebook or our own WhatsApp forwards from different sources, is filled with messages with phone numbers and details saying a 2 months old baby's parents have passed away, up for adoption, 6 months baby up for adoption, 12-year-old up for adoption. Right now the social media is filled with it. Yesterday we saw Delhi police intervention, and now we are referring to several instances for detailed inquiry by the Delhi police.
Yes. All right. I also want to introduce another very special guest. Anurag, do stay on with us. Bharti Ali, the Executive Director of HAQ, a child rights organization. She's been working in this field for the last 30 years. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. I want to ask you, what is the procedure? What happens? And this is, to disseminate information to the viewers who are watching this broadcast. What happens when a child below the age of 18 is often losing both parents to COVID?
So as the procedure goes, somebody has to inform the concerned child welfare committee of the district, and that can be any citizen, can be police, can be Childline, can be any NGO, can be DCPCR, anybody. They have to inform the child welfare committee. The child will have to be produced before the child welfare committee, and the committee will then initiate a proceeding. Meanwhile, they will ensure that the child is kept in a safe place, which could be a childcare institution. They could also give the child to some relatives and declare them as fit persons. So the child stays with the relative instead of being put in an institution. But they will then start their proceedings and conduct an inquiry. And the inquiry would include looking at what is the best possible option for this child, whether the child needs to be given in foster care or adoption is an option, whatever is the best possible option. If there are parents who want to adopt, they will have to register with the Carings website, with the Carings portal of the Government of India on the CARA website. And once they register, their application will be processed. It will move to the concerned specialized adoption agency. They will approach the prospective adoptive parents. They will conduct a home study and find out whether they are fit and capable and whether they will be able to really provide a loving and caring family to the child. They will prepare the documentation, give it to the Child Welfare Committee. The Child Welfare Committee will look at all the various documentation that is available, including their own inquiry procedure.
Yes.
And keeping that into consideration, they will accordingly declare the child legally free for adoption.
Okay.
Now, once the child is declared legally free, then the adoption agency has to apply to the court for finalization of adoption.
Okay. So, this is procedure. And Anant Asthana, child right lawyer, also joining us. But before I go across to him, Bharti Ali, I want to also understand from you the larger point. Why is this process been put in place? How important it is for even family members who wish to take care, of the next of kin whose child has been orphaned because of COVID-19. How important and imperative is it for families to go through this entire process? Can you highlight the rationale behind this conversation we're having?
You see, the whole idea is adoption is about permanency. It's giving a child a permanent family, whereby the rights of the child in the biological family are severed and they are created in a new family. And the whole idea is that as far as possible, if there are siblings, then the siblings stay together. So they should be given in adoption together as far as possible.
Right.
But that may or may not always be possible. And therefore, there are options like foster care, which seem to be more feasible options compared to adoption. We also don't want to see disruptions in adoption because you see, with older children, there are serious adjustment issues.
Yes.
And those, somebody who's traumatized, the adjustment issues will be higher.
Right.
There's a lot of thinking that is required.
Bharti Ali, I want you to also address, because, you've worked in this field, you've been involved in drafting laws related to children. Explain to us, I mean, there is a tendency that relatives of children may be reluctant to approach authorities, fearing, the bureaucracy stepping in or overstepping. What is it that you'd like to tell relatives, at this moment, who may be apprehensive or scared to bring in authorities?
See, what I want to say is that they have such a wonderful intention to go with. They really want to provide care and love and affection to somebody who belongs to the family in some way or the other. They can do the same thing, exactly the same thing, by following a legal process so that children's rights don't get hampered. They get their due rights through a legal process.
Okay.
So now we have a Juvenile Justice Act which allows relative adoption as well.
Yes.
So let's follow that process and encourage legal adoption. Otherwise, you are opening doors to child trafficking and baby sale. You may have good intentions, but someone else may not.
Right. Very important. Anant Asthana, you're a child rights lawyer. What happens if you don't follow the legal route for adoption? What is the legal action that can be taken against somebody who, either decides to adopt, a niece or a nephew, or, just keep them in their home, take care of them, bring them up, or if somebody just reads and stumbles upon a post on social media and decides to go ahead and do a good deed but doesn't follow the legal route, what happens?
Correct. So, answer is very clear. Adopting a child illegally is a crime, and you may end up in jail for up to 6 months, right? Not just adopting, but also those who are involved in this process, even they can be booked. So, it's illegal to have any child adopted illegally in the Juvenile Justice Act 2015.
Right. And what does the Act talk about children? What does the Act say about children who have been orphaned as a result of a natural disaster? We understand that death due to COVID-19 of both parents falls under that category.
So any child who is a victim of a natural disaster or is an orphan or who doesn't have parents who are capable of taking care of their child, these children are described as children who are in need of care and protection, and they come under state coverage. So state has to take care of them. So anybody who finds any such child, they have a duty to link that child with the state system. So they have to either give the child to child welfare committee. Every district has a child welfare committee.
Right.
Or they can take the child to a child care institution which is registered, or they can give the child to the district child protection unit, or they can call the police and hand over the child to the police.
Okay.
They can't help child under the law. We can't help the child without system.
Right.
They have to.
So the
help
system has to. The system has to come in. Another question, Anant Asthana, that's been asked is that what if there are, a mother and a father who are, say, critically ill due to COVID, and they want to take a decision on the custody of their child? Does the law have a provision for that?
If the parents are ill, then of course there are other laws where child can be given into guardianship of somebody.
Right.
So anybody in the family, if they consider is a guardian and they want to give the child to the guardian, they can take that call, and it's a very simple procedure. They have to move to the family court, a simple application. Court will have a look at it, and they can appoint somebody as a guardian for that child.
Right.
So it's a very simple procedure. It's not complicated.
All right. Anurag, I want to come back to you. Any last words, thoughts, any message that you'd like to give out? It is an extremely difficult time. There are many cases like that. Like you've been saying, you've stumbled upon social media posts. What's the advice that you'd like to give people at this time?
If you come across any child who's in distress, and the distress may be because of the parents passing away or for some other reason, report immediately. By reporting, you will enable the system to provide assistance to the child who needs it. So report, and report.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. This is indeed a very important issue, one that needs to be addressed. We've tried to consolidate, put out the information that is relevant for our viewers. We sincerely hope this conversation has helped. Thank you all very much for the work that you're doing and for joining us on the broadcast.